If you know Saw, you know me. I'm Rick, the main character here, basically. And some people don't really understand my whole story, so I'm here to explain it to you. Welcome back to that one random kid that no one knows his YouTube channel. I'm Rick, and this is Saw Recapped. So my story started itself off with me laying on a tree. A guy named Matt rescued me though, and he healed me, instantly gaining my trust. Next, he invited me to stay at his survival base. I should have been more grateful, but I was hooked on the fact that I lost 7 years of my memory. And then I met Mark Arcano, a really cool guy who I went hunting with. He gave me my stuff I used for survival, which I use to this day, along with some really good vibes. That's where my iconic green vest comes from. Anyway, I mentioned we went hunting, so let's talk about it. Mark and I went down a muddy trail. He hurt his leg, so I kept on going, and it really put me to the test, so it was good. I found this weird grass monster, and he chased me down to an old RV where I had no escape other than to fight him. I eventually hurt him good enough with a metal stick, returned his body to Matt in a quad, got Mark back, and everything was good. But the problem was, I was in shock and passed out, hurting my wrist. Well, it wasn't bad for long, and I returned back to hunting. I had told Matt that he might be able to enhance his knowledge, but when I came back, there was a problem. The house was gone. The experiment must have gone nutso. I started rethinking everything. My life didn't have meaning without Matt and Mark. I wanted to help people survive on their own, but everything started glitching, and I was sent to a weird reality trip and talked to this guy who called himself the Higher Being. I refused his offer to give me knowledge and was sent into a weird place called the Deep Dark. There, I met Julian, a guy who had been there for a while too. Together, him and I escaped and parted ways for a bit. I had a decent life until I was getting weird flashbacks and visions. Then, I was bitten, which made me start going towards the house I dread, and I was being taken over, which worked. I was also known as Hypno Rick for a while. I was being tested, and I would eventually be committing war crimes since Matt survived, and the Higher Being had me under control, and they were allied together. I thought Matt was bad at the time, but I was actually wrong. He did bad things with good intentions. But Julian came in clutch and he saved me from control. Matt went psycho on me because he didn't think I was going to do Plan C with him if he simply asked. So I was put in Plan C along with a magic spell on my things from Julian, making it impossible for me to die if my things were with me. I've always been meant to be a survivor. Anyway, I didn't think Plan C worked at first, and I met a guy who was really funny. Life was good. Until this guy named Kyle found me, and introduced me to an alternate version of myself with my exact DNA code. That alternate version of me said some weird things and he seemed bad, so I didn't stick around for long. I got a job delivering newspapers and got to enjoy my survival life until Matt came into my head. I couldn't get him out, which sucked, but at least he couldn't control me. We had a conversation and he explained he was looking for someone strange. I got convinced and accepted the offer. That's half my story so far, but we've run out of time in this video, so I'm splitting my recap into 2 parts. I hope you guys enjoyed, understand my story a little better, and I'll talk to you in the next one.